We are now in lesson number 8. Before, in lesson number 7, we talk about the post-merger integration planning and all stages. One important part of the implementation of the merger is communication. I would like to remind you that we talk about stress and negative attitudes and lower commitment and cooperation. To avoid this uncertainty that usually people face during mergers and acquisitions, we have to think carefully about communication and prepare communication strategy to deal with all stockholders inside the organization and outside the organization. So this is a very critical activity to create value, and it needs to manage very carefully. We know that in case that mergers and acquisition lack effective communication, all kinds of problems will come up. Problems because of cultural differences, will be lack of trust, and will cause managers a situation that they will not cooperate, will not be committed to the success of the merger. So, when we think about communication, we have to think about different things. We want to create messages to the people in the merger. So, important to consider what is said, how it's said, when it's said, and to whom. It is not the same messages to all parts of the organizations. For example, customers will need another type of communications. Employees will have another things to consider and will need other kind of messages. Managers will need other kind of managers. And also shareholders need different kind of messages. All these need to be carefully planned. So here we have some kind of things to consider when communication will take place. The best will be that it will take place even before the mergers. People will know that the company may be combined in a merger, what are the strategic motives for this, and how it will affect them. Later, throughout the process, management needs to be careful and listen about all kinds of uncertainties and questions that people have and try to deal with those. And of course, during the post-merger integration, why do we do changes? What kind of changes? How long it will be? How long it will take place? And how it affects the people that are in the merger. To manage the communication, we have to decide about some principles. Principles can be how many information will be communicated, who will say this, who will talk about this. Sometimes some companies decide that only one person will talk to all people. And we need to develop communication plan. Who say what to whom? What will be the message? What will be the channel of the communication? Is it will be by the CEO talk with all people, town halls that he talk to many people, managers talk to teams. Should they establish a kind of newspaper about the merger that will come out every week and give information to people, or just to use Q&A sessions? All these need to be planned and decide what communication, what messages will be in each channel of communication, in what period of time, how many time, and so on. And finally, there is a need to control and see the effect of communication. If it's achieved the goals that were decided before, does the communication reduce uncertainty? Does it cause some problems? All this needs to be decided, and the chapter give a table that summarize all this, summarize the communication strategy, and this table you can see in the chapter in the reading material.